Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Welcome to Ask Me Anything for Your Success. What are we covering today? We are covering picking bad partners in relationships, whether it's significant others or it might be who your next boss is. Are you an emotional empath? Are you someone who picks up on the emotions of others? Why are you getting overloaded? And what does it mean when somebody says that they're a wounded healer? Who am I to assist you with all of this? Dawn Ferguson, certified hypnotist, certification instructor. I train others to do this, as well as rapid results coach. Why should you listen to me? You shouldn't. That's the whole thing. You should test what I am suggesting for you. Always test it. If it works, great. Then let's hang out in each other's world. If it doesn't, then find somebody who is a better fit for you. Okay. So, let's see. You can text your questions to 636-699-7791. Again, that's 636-699-7791. And I want to let you know, changing some different banners down at the bottom, I have a free hypnosis audio that can assist you with the different things that we're going to be discussing today. No charge, my gift to your success. Download it, listen to it as much as you need to. And it is called Taking Out the Trash. It is meant to get rid of the bad beliefs, the negative emotions, and the hurtful actions that are holding you back from being your very best. You can find that at drewdawnferguson.com. Okay, so our very first question: why do I continue to pick bad partners in my relationships? And I'm going to share something whenever this was asked of me from one of my clients here recently. I'm going to share with you what I told her, which is you're looking at it wrong. You're not picking bad partners. You're picking the potential that you see. It's very interesting. If you were to do an in-depth study, and I'm never here to tell anybody what spiritual path they should follow, but if you do an in-depth study on the life of Christ, it's really interesting. When people approached him for a healing, many times he asked them, "What do you want?" Now, shouldn't he be able to see what challenges that they're having? No, he only saw the potential. That's right. So, what about you? Whenever you pick a bad partner to be able to engage with, again, it could be a love relationship. It could be the next job, the next boss that seems to be appealing. Oh, if you're self-employed, it could be a client. So you're not picking bad partners. You're picking based on potential, but the potential that you are seeing may not be in alignment with where that person wants to go. You're not picking them because you want to fix them. You're picking them because you think it's a journey you'll be able to take with them. Some people will show up for a reason, some for a season, some for a lifetime. So if you're engaging with someone and you've picked them because of the potential that you've seen in them, you should be able to see an upgrade within 90 days. And if they're not, if they're still having challenges, then that's because they get something out of staying stuck. Now, does that mean that you're going to pick a boss and then 3 months later go, oh, you know what? I need to go find a different job. Well, have you ever noticed how a lot of companies will have 90 days where it's called at-will employment? They can let go of you within 90 days if they feel like you're not a fit for them. So maybe that trial period should also be on your part, that they need to meet your expectations of how to move forward. Does that mean you might need to leave after 90 days? Potentially. But so many times when people will go into a relationship, they're going into it saying, I'm locked into this. And I'm saying, you know what? Let's make sure that you're not just together for a reason or a season, but it can extend longer than that. Now, there are four main categories of values. We've got certainty, we have got freedom, we have worthiness, and we have validation. You want to make sure that you're picking the level that's appropriate for you. And each level builds on the level below. So that if you go all the way to the top of validation, it is going to encompass all of the levels beneath it. So certainty, you pick a relationship just because you need to know that somebody's got your back, you can pay your bills, and that you're not going to be alone. Well, there's something to be said, maybe if you're unemployed and you need to get something just short term to be able to make it through, but it's not going to work long term as far as your growth. And then you have freedom. Freedom is where there's choices. You want to be able to explore that. This is going on journeys and adventures with each other. I love getting together with my friends whenever we decide to do variety and go do something maybe like riding go-karts or going to a certain play. So it's something that I'm going to engage in every once in a while, but seeking variety all the time will typically show up, if you're too engaged in it, as a lot of drama, a lot of crisis, a lot of confusion. So you want to pick something that's for variety, but it's not something that you want to engage in every single day, all day long. So think about those experiences, those relationships. Then you have worthiness. This is where you learn how to bring out the best in each other. And so it's the potential of working one-on-one with someone. This is going to be the level of hiring a mentor or a coach or doing that for somebody, being able to see how you can move forward. That is a really great place to be. But again, you need to be seeing upgrades when you pick those relationships, love, friendships, business. You need to be seeing upgrades within 3 weeks, maximized at 91 days, 3 months. That's how long it takes for a full identity upgrade. So if you're going to engage in a relationship there, you want it to have certainty, you want it to have variety, but you also want to see where you're bringing the best out in each other. And then the final level is what's known as validation. Validation is the beginning levels of leadership. But keep this in mind, as a true leader, you cannot give away what you do not possess. So you need to be able to lead yourself. Do not hand your authority or power over to someone else and go, you need to lead me. And then when they don't, you get to point the finger at them and abdicate your personal responsibility. So this is when you say, okay, I am going to lead myself. I'm going to love myself. And that way I will attract in others that are also putting themselves high priority on their list. And that way we can work together for the betterment of everybody. So you're not picking bad relationships. You're just picking relationships in an area where you see the potential, but maybe they're not ready to move fully into that potential. And so you need to pull back and go, I want to engage in people that are ready to move forward with me. All right. If you have any questions, text them while we're live to 636-699-7791. Okay. Next question was emotional empath overload. What is an emotional empath? They're able to pick up what others are experiencing and be able to predict, sometimes with accuracy, a pretty high level of accuracy, what is causing somebody's challenge or what their future looks like based on the emotional states that they're in. Some people think that emotional empaths are born with that gift, and that is true just for a few people. A lot of empaths, intuitives that pick up information off others, were actually conditioned and trained that way. Somebody who was engaging in sports as a youth learned how to read the competition, their body language, reading between the lines. What were they seeing as far as how people were moving? So you can be conditioned to be an empath through sports, or maybe you were raised with a lot of leaders or people who were in a serving industry and they needed to be able to read others. So it was naturally assimilated because of the environment you grew up. Or could it be that you grew up in an environment that was highly dysfunctional and you needed to read people quickly to see what the environment is or was, so you knew if you were going to be stepping into a landmine? Here's the challenge when you've learned to read other people, when you've been conditioned and programmed to do that, whether it was on purpose, like in the sports, or it was a way to cope because there was dysfunction. You learned to absorb versus observe. So it wasn't just reading other people, it was actually taking on their emotional states. And the reason why you learn to take them on is because you were never taught boundaries, at least healthy boundaries. You were never conditioned that this is where you start and someone else begins. It all merged together. So their emotions became your emotions. What they lacked became your lack. And then you were conditioned to be able to find a way to fulfill that missing piece. Now, in sports, it can be really great because you can see the holes in the opponent's line and you can see on how to capitalize on it. But if you were doing it because you were raised in a dysfunctional household, or you did it because others were in a service-based industry in your household and it was just natural for you to follow in their footsteps, well, then there could have been a challenge because there was something you needed to be your very best that wasn't provided for you. Even in households where it was being raised in what you would consider an excellent environment. I had a client who was raised in an environment where it was love and warmth and how can we take care of others. But yet my client was predisposed, genetically wired for competition, for seeking out the edge, for making things happen and not necessarily bringing everybody along with them. And so what he needed as far as being able to channel that edge in a very healthy way, his environment, the people that were significant to him, couldn't provide it. And that caused him challenges because he thought there was something wrong with him. And he kept trying to make himself fit into a mold that he was never meant to have. And so because he thought that he couldn't have the edge, then he had spent the first half of his lifetime trying to figure out how to make it happen for other people and was miserable with it. So there was something you needed. You thought because it wasn't there, you couldn't have it. And so you needed to overcompensate for the others in your world or in your life. Ugh. This is when you absorb instead of observing. So if you're an intuitive, if you're an empath, what do you need to do? You need to start discovering healthy boundaries, saying that this is where I end and they begin. I take responsibility for upgrading me. I do not take responsibility for what someone else experiences. And I always know, I can always tell whenever someone has challenges with boundaries. Maybe they're at some sort of event. It could be a business building event like a Chamber of Commerce meeting, or it could be a backyard barbecue. But they share what it is they do with someone else. And the person that they just shared it with said, really, whatever it is you do, I have a problem with that. Whatever it is that you do, I don't believe in it. Whatever it is that you do, I had a terrible experience with it. And the person who was sharing now feels a need to convince that other person of their worth and value. They absorbed that negativity, took it on as their own, and now they're claiming the responsibility for that other person and what they need to do. You know, as a certified hypnotist, I have people come up to me and go, I don't think I can be hypnotized. And I go, yeah, you know what? You're right. You can't, because you have to be willing. And then I go on and I have a different conversation because I do not need to take on their weight of their challenges. Now, if they decide to pursue with additional questions, what they're telling me is that they're curious and they just didn't know how to phrase it. But I'm not there to take on their emotions and sort it out for them. Anytime someone has a challenge with physical weight, that simply tells me that they have been conditioned to become responsible for the success, the emotional fulfillment of others in their life. They don't know about healthy boundaries. So, again, if you have any questions, text them to me at 636-699-7791. Okay. Whew. Oh, okay. Question as far as, all right, do we work with people only in person? That I'll respond back to you. No, we do work virtually, but the person who sent that question in, I'll follow up with you with more details on that. One more, which is how to pick someone that you might want to have coach you or mentor you, how to know if you're getting someone that is going to be able to guide you where you want to go. What does it mean when someone claims the title of wounded healer? Well, wounded healer was actually a term that had great intentions, but the energy around it will keep people stuck. Wounded healer simply says, hey, I've been through some stuff in my life. I learned how to move through it to the other side, and I want to be able to assist you do the same. No one wants to work with a wounded healer because it's all about solving problems. See, the very powerful part of your mind, known as the subconscious, has two modes of operation: problem solving or designing a life. Once the subconscious has completed a task, it has to have another one. It is a goal-seeking mechanism. It wants to know the next place to go. So guess what happens if you solve a problem? What's your subconscious say? Oh, guess what? We need to solve another problem. If you design a life, if you say, this is what I want to experience in thriving and being healthy, wealthy, and happy, and you achieve that in one area of your life, guess what your subconscious says? Oh, where's the next area do we want to thrive? So where I understand wounded healers and where they're coming from, they will assist you in solving a problem. They're never ever going to take you to the next level of revealing who you really are. That's what you want to look for. Someone who says the system that they're teaching you, and they should be doing what's known as transfer of authority or transfer of power. They should be teaching you the system that they're using with you. So that way you do not become dependent upon them. Um, Instead, you're able to take that system and apply it to other areas of your life to be able to receive and achieve. It does not mean that you'll need to stop working with someone, because we need people to assist us in working through the wounds that others have created in us in our past. But then after that, it's the next area and the next level. And maybe you'll work with that mentor. Maybe you'll find someone else. But the idea is to always be looking for expansion, for growth, for fuller expression, because you're either going to be fully expressing health, wealth, and happiness, or you're going to be fully expressing painful past and continuing to recreate it. Because once the subconscious mind accepts an imprint, which is basically a system on how to experience the world around you, once it accepts an imprint, it will continue to seek out the people, places, and things to fulfill that imprint. So if you're working on pain and if you're working on your wound, after you get through that wound, it's going to find more people, places, and things for the next problem wound, instead of what is it that we want to do for fuller expression in who we really are in designing our life. Okay. So I have something to assist you on designing your life. It is a bonus. And it's something that I had not put together before. One of my clients had to actually ask me about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, why not? Okay, so I've put together a program called Wealth from Within. It assists you with the revelation of who you really are. It helps you with the past as far as breaking through the bad beliefs, freeing yourself from limitations, stopping the self-sabotage, and then again, who are you really in all areas that where you can thrive? Okay. So it is a virtual program that is going to be starting towards the end of May. I also had in May an event that I was putting on in person. Yeah, we know what happened to that, right? Called Splash into Success. Splash into Success. It was an event to teach you how to have fun and joy and happiness when you're going after your goals. Because we make it so hard because we've been conditioned to make things hard. Like we really have to earn the right to have something in our life. No, I mean, if you look at nature, that the flowers and the trees that are opening up, blooming and blossoming, showing their true colors, it's a revelation of who they really are internally. And they don't have to work at that. It happens automatically. Well, that's what I was going to teach you in this event, Splash into Success. And the reason why it was called Splash into Success is because it was being held in Florida. Well, that's not happening. In fact, as soon as I got word that some things may be happening in January, I closed off registration. Well, I had one of my clients here recently go, I still want to attend Splash into Success. Can't I just splash into it and have fun virtually? And I'm like, why had I not thought of that? So this is what I'm doing. The Wealth from Within program that is going to teach you how to bring yourself out at your most magnificent and splash into success, which is how to have fun while you're being who you really are. I'm combining them together. So you will be able to attend Splash into Success, the one-day immersion event virtually, whether you attend live or you get it as the download as a bonus to the Wealth from Within program. I'm putting the two of them together. There you go. So you can get the details on that at drewdawnferguson.com/WFW, stands for Wealth from Within. I have to keep it easy for me to be able to remember. Okay. But I've got one other thing for you. One other thing. So you got the choice of two. So we've got Wealth from Within combined with Splash into Success. What if you wanted to become a successpreneur, a healingpreneur and a successpreneur combined together? You wanted to help people move past their pain that they've experienced in their past, but then also begin to design a life for moving forward. Well, that's what I train my certified hypnotists in. I'm a certified instructor, and for the first time ever, I'm able to train people virtually. And because everybody's schedules are so different, what I'm doing right now is I'm giving people the opportunity to train with me privately. This is not watch some videos, take a test, and you're certified. No, this is me working with you one-on-one. And right now, I am not charging any extra for that service to train somebody privately. There's even a payment plan to be able to do that. If you have ever thought about becoming a certified hypnotist, now is the time to be able to take me up on it, where you don't have to come in. You're not going to have travel expenses, and I will customize it just to you. Or you have the option of signing up and working in a group. But here's what I'm going to do. If you decide that you want to become a certified hypnotist, I will add on the Wealth from Within program and the Splash into Success event as additional ways to support you, so you can get it all. Where do you find that information on becoming a certified hypnotist? Go to isch4u.com. You're not going to see the bonuses on there right now. That is for people who reach out and have a conversation with me. So isch4u.com. See the information there. If you choose that, yes, you want to register. And by the way, I only have a couple of openings to train people privately because I still have my full caseload of my private clients. So if you're interested in that option, you need to reach out to me as quick as possible. So isch4u.com, and I will add on the Health to Wealth, Wealth from Within program, as well as the Splash into Success event. All right. So do you pick bad partners? No, you pick people because you can see their potential. But are they expressing their potential, over the coming days and weeks to where you know it's someone you want to stay in a relationship with. If you're being overwhelmed by the emotions of others, start drawing boundaries of where you're taking responsibility for yourself, but you're observing others, you're not absorbing what they have. And then the very last question, wounded healers, is that somebody you should be working with? Well, if you want to continue solving problems in your life, yes. But if you're ready to decide how to design a life, you want to be working with someone that is going to transfer that system over to you. They're going to empower you so that you can take that system and apply it to any other area and see who you really are begin to emerge just like the beautiful butterfly from the chrysalis. So until we get together again, blessings on your journey.